Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with BNEWS producer Sydney Bowles, BNEWS reporters Robert Paris, Tad Stefanak, and Chris Flaherty, Peter Brown with the weather, Anthony Matos with sports, and Gretchen Carey with community calendar. Thank you for joining us. More details are emerging on the future of the Burlington Police Station, assuming town meeting approves the demolition of the current building and the construction of an entirely new building through a bond issue. Design firm Castle Booz Associates estimates the entire process will cost the town about $46 million, and that includes the demolition, new construction, new furniture, and new internal systems like HVAC and security, and even the cost of relocating the department for 2 years during construction. That's something Town Administrator Paul Sagarino has been thinking about a lot lately. Here he is.
You know, some of the things that are under consideration would be some type of trailer farm. Certainly they had enough parking, or to lease office space for a period of time. So, you're basically talking about bare bones office space, no locker rooms, no shower facilities, things of that nature. Lexington is currently building a police station, and we book their prisoners for them. So we make arrangements with other departments for, we're not going to have jail cells in an office building. So, one of our neighboring communities would likely receive any prisoners that we may have and things of that nature. But, there's plenty. It is complicated, and it is going to be a challenge for the department during that time that they would theoretically be out of a real police station. But at the same time, I think everyone just being so excited about the project, we've managed to get through, and there's plenty of examples of where this was done elsewhere in Massachusetts. And like I say, Lexington is dealing with it now, and all the neighboring departments step up to help in different ways that they can. And we're expecting the same type of treatment from our neighbors as we move forward. So.
Speaking of the BPD, the department has received a donation from Burlington-based Viken Detection. The gift is a Nighthawk handheld X-ray device that allows officers to detect things like narcotics, weapons, or explosives that are hidden in vehicles or behind walls. Viken also extended its loan of another detection product, Foxhound, which can trace and analyze a variety of narcotics. BPD says the tools help officers do their work safely while reducing the risk of property damage. In a monthly conversation with BNews, Burlington Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Conti says he's excited about a new pilot program meant to expand access to mental health care inside the high school where it's needed most. Conti says he hopes the program will be up and running by September. Let's listen.
I think we're going to try to hire a case manager and someone, mental health position, again, through this outside agency, and get them on staff. We're thinking that may take some of the spring and even into the summer. We really like to prioritize someone who has multi-language skills that would help our population. And again, if, like everything else, hiring is more challenging than normal, so it may take us some time, but we'd really like to have this start next school year.
The Burlington Board of Health will soon be without a long-standing member, Vice Chair David McSweeney, who is retiring as his term ends at this election. BNews reporter Chris Flaherty reports it's a tenure with a deep-rooted family history.
It's going to be strange for coming here on a Tuesday night and not having a McSweeney sitting next to me. I want to thank David for his hard work, dedication, and most of all, his never-failing professional insight that we have all enjoyed.
This month, Vice Chairman David McSweeney concludes 9 years of service with the Board of Health. Born and raised in Burlington, McSweeney followed in the footsteps of his father, the late Eugene Terry McSweeney, who served on the Board of Health for 37 years and holds the record for its longest-serving member.
And I grew up campaigning for him, holding signs, and watching him for those 37 years. He encouraged me for a long time to get involved, and he worked with a lot of the staff that are still here today, and still some of the board members too. I guess I kind of took his advice after a number of years of him egging me on, and I made him hold a sign for me during my election, and then I'm glad I did. I got elected 9 years ago. I feel somewhat honored to be holding the same position my dad did. Hopefully he's looking down and feels that I did somewhat of a good job and did him justice. So
Reflecting on his time with the board, McSweeney says his proudest accomplishments are overseeing the growth of biotech in Burlington and navigating the COVID-19 pandemic.
It was obviously uncharted waters for all of us. You know, the staff did a fantastic job in managing that. Certainly we had, as the Board of Health, we were the key board to manage all the mandates that the federal and state government pushed down on us. You know, I think that was probably the biggest accomplishment. The second, I think, has to do with biotechnology and life sciences. You know, we created a whole biotech regulation and opened up our doors to the community to having those businesses come into town. I think we have over 20 now that have come in, and was right on the heels of the pandemic.
McSweeney says over the last 9 years, he has learned just how much the Board of Health affects the daily lives of the community.
I think people would be surprised. A lot of the programs, committees that we've established really for the good of the public health and for the town of Burlington. All those restaurants that we have in town that are safe and probably the safest in the state due to the good work that the staff does. We handle everything from permitting chickens and dogs to subdivisions and stormwater management. There's a wide range of topics that not all the other boards in town have to deal with. I love this board. I think we have the best staff around. I think we have the best boards of health of any surrounding town. Wish them nothing but the best. All of the prior board members and existing board members are all great. And who knows, maybe I'll end up back here someday soon.
BNews congratulates David McSweeney on his 9 years of service and wish him nothing but the best in this next chapter. Until next time, this is Chris Flaherty for BNews Weekly.
It was a bittersweet day at Leahy Hospital and Medical Center as the community said farewell to beloved therapy dog Zest, who has been diagnosed with cancer. Sydney Bowles and Robert Paris have this story.
Zest, the therapy dog, is no stranger to helping people with difficult diagnoses find levity and solace in tough times. But this time, Zest was the one getting the outpouring of support.
Zesty's been diagnosed with cancer, which has spread throughout her body, and she's doing steroids, prednisone, and chemo right now for her comfort, and she's doing well right now.
The community gathered to wish her well in her treatment and her early retirement. She even got a brand new tennis ball.
It was pretty amazing when we came around the corner, and there were so many people all the way down the East Quarter that it was very emotional and very heartfelt, and it really is a testament to Leahy Hospital, which is an amazing place and an amazing therapy dog that's done so much.
So of course there's a lot of emotion, and what we hope to do now is care for the caregiver just as we do for our healthcare providers here. We are caring for Zest, and we are pouring the love and healing into Zest through the entire journey and wishing Zest the absolute best.
I had no doubt that there would be a huge turnout for Zest. She's a special, special dog. I met her in 2018 when I met Patty, and I think from the minute I met her, we had a connection.
Zest, who turns 9 in April, has supported Leahy staff and patients for years, including through the tumultuous height of COVID. There was even an award for wellness created in her honor, the Zesties.
That was a very big privilege, and we were very humbled and very honored to receive that.
We wish Zest all the best in her treatment. With Robert Paris for BNews, I'm Sydney Bowles.
In other news from Leahy, the hospital has announced it's partnering with UMass Chan Medical School on a new research hub. This is to be a quantitative science research hub to improve outcomes and disparities through population health, digital medicine, and health system science. It's part of Leahy's and UMass Chan's Medical School campus based here in Burlington. The program is to be named the Institute for Healthcare Delivery Service. The Burlington-based mining tech firm, Phoenix Tailings, has received some support for their work. The Healy Driscoll administration has awarded $1.4 million to the company to support its zero-waste approach to rare metal earth mining. The metals are important for electric vehicles, wind turbines, nuclear reactors, and jet engines, and the U.S. has depended on China for nearly 97% of rare earth metals productions, according to Massachusetts Center for Advanced Manufacturing. and supporting more U.S.-based rare metals production has been designated a national security priority. The grant is expected to support a second production facility at Phoenix Tailings Production in Somerville. An annual tradition returned to Burlington this week, a belated Easter egg hunt put on by the Parks and Recreation Department. Robert Paris has the scoop.
Families hopped to Simons Park on April Fool's Day for the annual Easter egg hunt put on by the Burlington Parks and Recreation Department, which was a makeup date from March 29th.
We have to get appropriate staffing to make sure everything is safe. In terms of the rain out, we have to, reconnect with the vendors that are here, the sponsors that are here, make sure they can still attend, contact everyone that's registered, and make sure they can attend that makeup date.
It takes a few members of the department to get things in order, from getting candy to hiding the eggs.
So we had 2,000 eggs total, and then 60 pounds of small candy that was also thrown out. And then we also had some special large eggs this year that had eclipse glasses for the eclipse that's happening on April 8th. So we had 10 of those as well scattered amongst for people to find. We also have some arts and crafts, photos with the Easter Bunny. It's a really good time. Some games floating around here and there. So
the turnout couldn't have been better, and with the temperatures warming up, it sure felt like a sign of spring.
It's kind of like that welcoming of spring. You get to run around in a park and get some candy, maybe some toys, and see the Easter Bunny. So it's a lot of fun.
We hope everyone had a great Easter. I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
In its second year back after the pandemic, the Council on Aging's senior prom was a big hit. Sydney Bowles and Anthony Matos have this report.
Hi, I'm BNews sports reporter Anthony Matos.
And I'm BNews producer Sydney Bowles.
And tonight is a night of fun for the Burlington Council on Aging senior prom night here at the Burlington Marriott.
Everyone has got dressed up in their absolute finest. There's going to be amazing food, great dancing. It's just going to be a blast. Let's go take a look around.
It may have been snowing and cold outside, but the senior citizens brought the heat to senior prom.
So this is a ton of work that you've put into this. So talk about what had to happen to bring a night like this together.
So we had to get sponsors to start with to pay for it in order to keep the tickets low for the seniors so it's affordable. And then we had to get a venue and little tchotchkes for them to take home. You need a photographer, the DJ. It's like putting on a wedding.
And what is the Burlington Senior Prom for people who don't know?
It's a prom basically, from the way it was explained to me for many years from Marge, was a lot of these senior citizens, when they were younger, between the Korean War or whatever war, they missed out on their senior prom. So now it's like a makeup prom as they got older, and it's well attended, and they just have a blast here.
Everyone's very dressed up. This is a big night for a lot of people. I know even with the snowstorm, we did get cancellations today, but we're still having a good time, so ready to dance.
The highlight of the night was, of course, Superlatives, where new Council on Aging royalty was crowned.
What does prom king and queen mean to you guys?
It means that from now on, she will have to address me as Your Majesty.
From the Boston Marriott Burlington, I'm Sydney Bowles.
I wonder how that Your Majesty thing is going to work at home. The nonprofit group Disabled American Veterans recently took a moment to celebrate the businesses that have helped them in their work. DAV Commander David Legere says 4 area businesses, Shaw's Market, Market Basket, and 2 Dunkin' Donuts locations have let them sit outside and hold fundraising drives, which have in turn allowed them to provide meals and social events for disabled American veterans. The 4 businesses received plaques to thank them for their service. Burlington is remembering Jane Hyde, an active member of the community who has passed away. Jane served on town meeting, the Board of Appeals, and the Planning Board, where she worked tirelessly for the benefit of her fellow residents. She passed away on March 13th at the age of 71. Burlington is full of hidden treasures, and one of them is a sewing machine with a lot to say about American history. Tad Stefanek has this story.
It's the middle of the U.S. Civil War. Drummer boy Henry Bates is serving with the Union Army, and his mother sits at home making a vest for him. She cut the material, she pinned it, and now she's heading over to the sewing machine to put it together. A Singer Model 12 manufactured in 1862. It comes apart by raising the front and folding the top back, falling behind the sewing machine. Then the wings drop down and open up, and it becomes a full working table. Some of the interesting things about the sewing machine is that it still has its original glass wheels. The casters are white, and the treadle drive shaft is made out of wood. And up above, the sewing machine itself has mother-of-pearl inlay. Pretty fancy for something manufactured, 160 years ago.
Marge Yetman is, of course, the director of Burlington Senior Center, and she stops by BCAT once a month to tell us what's going on in the coming weeks. This time it's a serious topic, but an important one, advanced directives.
Super boring subject, super depressing, because who wants to think about what you want done, but incredibly important. The main thing for me is, you know, if you don't care what happens to you, think about the people you leave behind, because they have to make decisions.
The session is scheduled for Wednesday, April 10th at 1 p.m. Spring sports is picking up here at Burlington High School. Let's check in with Anthony Matos for the update.
Hey everyone, I'm Anthony Matos in this weekly sports report. The spring sports are back in full swing. Girls softball is 1-0 after a 7-6 win in Reading to start the season. Burlington's home opener with the Lexington Minutemen on April 3rd was postponed. The team will be in Arlington on April 8th. Burlington baseball has a new head coach for the 2024 season. BNEWS sports reporter Robert Paris caught up with him.
Talk between each other, all right?
To his hometown, Passotti was the coach for Bill Ricca.
It's really different. I coached over in Bill Ricca for the last handful of years, and you know, it's just like I said, it's great putting the going out there and winning games for my hometown.
After inclement weather postponed their practices, I finally got to see the Devils in action at Francis Wyman. Chris was excited to be outside with the team and see how the athletes were developing.
These kids are young, but they're experienced.
but time ran out. Reading took home the victory 9-8.
Both the girls and boys tennis teams lost their season openers to Lexington Minutemen on April 1st. The girls were shut out 0-5 and the boys 1-.
By the time we get to the end of the second week of April, up near 60, and we're going to be maybe near there a couple of days next week. I still don't think we're going to be quite cracking 60 quite yet, unfortunately. It looks like winter is really trying to dig its heels in here as we head into its spring. The only thing that really is reminding us that we are actually in springtime is optimistic only, and in my opinion, looking at our temperatures for next week, they're seeing some temperatures that are going to be fairly mild for us. I'm not seeing that quite as much. I think we're going to be holding on to kind of a cool flow out of the east-southeast as we see another storm at the end of next week passing by us. So I think that's going to keep us in some of that cool flow off of the ocean. So it's going to knock our temperatures down to maybe near average and maybe slightly below average. Now, looking at our precipitation chances, this is one thing, unfortunately, I do agree with. Looks like we're going to have chances of above average precipitation from the Climate Prediction Center, and that is what I'm calling for as well. So as we go ahead, let's take a look at those 7 days of weather coming up. And of course, this looks anything like a springtime forecast. I will say that. This looks like more of a late January, early February type of forecast, especially to start out the weekend. Look at this on Saturday, not getting out of the 30s with a really cold rain showers, some snowflakes mixed in. That's going to continue a little bit into Sunday. The temperatures are going to rebound a bit, but we're going to keep some of those unsettled conditions with some showery conditions and maybe hopefully the sun peeking out. Now, as we started our work week, of course, going back to work, end of the weekend, temperatures are going to be climbing up into the lower 50s again. The wind is going to be staying, I think, maybe off the ocean as we're going to
Hi, I'm Amy Poehler, and you're watching BCAT. Go Red Devils!
Hey everyone, I'm Gretchen Carey, and this is your Community Calendar. On April 11th from 12 to 2 p.m., the Mama Bear Effect is having a Champions for Children luncheon at the Cafe Escadrille. For more information and to register, go to the following website. Also on April 11th, the Made in Burlington store will be having a Spring Wreath Workshop from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. For more information and to register, go to the following website. On April 12th through 14th, the Burlington Public Library will be having their Spring Book Sale. For more information and times, go to the library website. For more community calendar events, go to bcattv.org, burlingtonpubliclibrary.org, and burlingtonrecreation.org. I'm Gretchen Carey, and that was your Community Calendar.
And as we do each week, we're ending with a photo sent in by a member of the audience. Kevin Carnell shared this one. He says it's of the Easter Bunny paying a visit to the Rotary Interact basketball team. Thank you so much for sharing, Kevin. If you have a photo you'd like to see featured here, email it to us at bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. That's our program for this week. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget this Saturday is Burlington's local elections. Polls are open from 8 a.m.